Welcome to an unpleasant episode of InRange. Really, is it an episode or just a discussion or an update? An update that's been in progress for over 5 years, maybe 6 years now. We are seeing a wave of channels, reputable, good content creators on YouTube, having all of their work for however many years they've been doing it, being immediately blipped and erased and yeeted out of existence off of YouTube for crimes that aren't even against the current terms of service, but are retroactively being applied to content that was created maybe even 6 years ago. So even if this content that is the reason that they're being deleted is against the terms of service now, it wasn't when it was being created. So print, shoot, repeat isn't completely off the network, but most of his work and content had to be proactively deleted when he was being struck almost instantaneously and was probably going to be locked out of the network. So he was forced essentially to delete a lot of his own work. Recoil TV just lost their entire channel. Kit Badger just lost their entire channel. And it happens in a heartbeat. So what happens is you have a large catalog of work that's been there for however long, 6, 7, 10 years. And first you get a warning, and then you get a strike, and there's a punitive reactions for a strike. Then there's a second strike, and there's punitive reactions for that. And then there's a third strike, and your channel's gone, and you're gone from YouTube forever. And this can all happen overnight, because they can go through your back catalog and decide that these videos from 6 years ago, 3 of them in a row have a suppressor in them, and boom, no warning, no chance to do anything, and you're gone. Ian himself from Forgotten Weapons just recently got a warning for his Hush Puppy video, which of course is of nothing more than historical interest. I myself have, 5, 6 years ago, as you may or may not know, hopefully you do, I demonetized the channel, deleted InRange's AdSense account, received no funding from YouTube, no sponsors, and no advertising money, and went to a completely crowd-based model. InRange has received a warning, has not received a strike, but by watching the content that's being hit on other content creators, I've had no choice but to remove a backlog of a number of videos off of the channel here on YouTube. Now, due to the fact that I proactively decentralized 6 years ago, or 5.5 or whatever it was, that content is all replicated on different sites that they have no control or reach over. And that was the purpose and intent of this. Now, when I did that initially, my goal was to get people to move off of this platform, because as long as 6 years ago, it was quite evident that YouTube would become a place of danger to anyone that has content that is not essentially compatible with the mass media and milquetoast advertising dollars that control this network, and therefore by proxy control the content creators dependent on those ad dollars. And so thus the crowdsourced funding model and decentralizing the distribution of InRange. InRange, in fact, was on this track before we even started it. We were on Full 30, which was a fledgling attempt to not be on YouTube for the very first year of all InRange content. But it became evident that the only place you can get eyes is where the viewers are. And the viewers are only in one place, and that's YouTube. So if you're not on YouTube, you really don't have viewers. Now, I'm hoping that some of these content creators, such as Kit Badger, who lost their years of work on this channel, will continue to maintain their viewer base on alternative distribution networks that I know Kit Badger's on Utreon, for example. And when this happens to InRange, I hope that we'll be able to do the same. The challenge has been getting people to go watch this content anywhere else. The convenience of YouTube, the technology itself, lends itself and has lent itself at this point to a de facto monopoly in what some people would call a free market, but really isn't. Everyone wants to say this is a free market, and yes, there is Utreon, and there is Rumble, and there is BitChute, but the problem is none of those things can keep up with the embedded apps that are on like Roku and Apple TV and all these devices, your phone. None of them can keep up with the technology advancements of the content distribution network that YouTube has that provides high quality streaming anywhere you are in the world from essentially low quality connections. Those are all challenging, difficult things to do. And as a result of that tyranny of the default, the reality is the viewer base and the control is here on YouTube. And so we, as content creators, can provide you alternative places to watch our content. I have for 5+ years now. You can find all of mine at inrange.tv/watch. But you got to go do it. You got to use it. Now, I'm not trying to demonize anyone here. I watch content on YouTube myself. But I will say this. Being the days of gun content and other sorts of controversial, whatever that means at the moment, content on YouTube are numbered. This is and is going to be usurped by the mass media, and it's going to be just another cable TV network. So we need to move, we need to change, we need to break their control. And the only way to break the control is for us as content creators to distribute elsewhere, and for you, the viewer, to go watch it elsewhere. But even more importantly, to not make them any money. So I do not want to get any ad dollars from YouTube, because every ad dollar is shared with them, and therefore I'm putting ammunition in their weapon to fight against us. That was one of the reasons for demonetization. And you watching content on YouTube and allowing those ads to play is also funding them. So if you're going to be watching any content on YouTube, please consider an ad blocker. You can use the Brave browser even on iOS if you have a question about that. That'll allow you to block YouTube ads. Block their ads. It's the only weapon you have against them right now. And the better weapon we have is for all of us to find another place that we can keep our audience, grow an audience, and move on away from this oligarchical control of a small handful of corporate entities. One of the values of YouTube is that it is a diverse place with content across the board, whether it's firearms or agricultural or entertainment or something else. It's all here in one place. And forcing the hand of the content creator to become their own destructor of their content, burning the digital library of Alexandria, as I was actually quoted in Requo magazine for once, making the content creator do that themselves is insidious and evil. So if InRange disappears, or any of your content creators disappear, try to find them somewhere else and support them, because this is a difficult, trying time, regardless of who it is you support and like and watch. Just before I finish this, people are going to ask, what do you think are the best options out there for content creators? And I will give you 3 that I think are the best. The best from a content creator perspective is Utreon, because it is a good blend of Patreon and YouTube together, where you can do direct viewer support, but it doesn't require a paywall. So it's a nice blend. Although Patreon has been very good to me, although I know Patreon is contentious to some. From a technological standpoint, the best answer is Odyssey or Library, because it's a blockchain technology, meaning that there is no centralized hierarchical control that can delete any content out of the blockchain. Once the video is in the blockchain, it's in the blockchain and it stays there. And I think that that's an interesting way to fight this sort of control. And the last one, which I've supported and still do for years, is BitChute, because it is a not wholly decentralized, but uses WebTorrent to reduce the cost of content distribution, and the cost of content distribution is what drives advertising dollars to be sought in a malicious and vicious way, which is what we're seeing with YouTube. So once again, inrange.tv/watch, support us on Patreon or Utreon, support your other content creators if you can. Anyone you think that is of value to you, they need it right now. And please consider Utreon, BitChute, Library, one of these alternative options, and bookmark it, because I'm telling you, whether it's firearms or something else, the time is nigh. Thanks for watching.